Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well. So it's already 6 past 4, right? It's already 6 past 4, and my students are not yet in the meeting, but I'll just start the recording. When they get in, I'll hear them, right? And when they're now asking their questions, we'll be answering to them, right? So, mm, so guys, let's just begin. They are already late. So maybe it's because today I changed the time twice. I had an exam in the morning at 9, and I also had an exam at 2, but the exam at 2 was postponed to Monday. Today's Thursday. It was postponed to Monday. So most probably because I had said the meeting is no more there, people had just gone and started doing their own business and stuff. Was an hour before, that's when I told them that the meeting is now there because I'm no more in the exam, right? But it is now there at around what 4, which usually starts at around what 2. So maybe that's the reason why there's no one. But usually there's not a lot of people though. There's usually maybe 5 to 10, at most 12 participants, right? It's a young community, a very young community. In our WhatsApp community, I think we are about 32. Uh, right here when I changed the time twice. Then in our in our Telegram community, I think we are about 32 again, yeah, 33. So it's a young community. So uh who joined us right now? Who joined us right now? Who is Cooper W? There are now two participants who joined us. So it's 10 past 4. I'm going to start, whether they are people or they are not. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes,
Okay, that's great. That's great. Cooper W. Cooper wishes. It's Cooper wishes. Yes, 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 yes. And then so let's start the live chat. Guys, you are late. The signals are already running, right? On my analysis, right? I had on my analysis, I had 4 pairs. As I told you, I always study 4 pairs in the morning. GBP USD, GBP JPY, USD JPY, and USD CAD. What am I looking at? Let's start with the first pair I was looking at, GBP USD. These days I'm not trading gold. Do you see? I saw this analysis whilst our chart was still here, before it had come to this area. I knew that it was going to react to this area, this yellow zone, and come down here. Why? Because we have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap in the 1 hour, and we have a fair value gap in the 4 hours, right? If I put my chart in the 1 hour so that you can see it, if I zoom it in, this is our fair value gap, guys. We can see that this week and this week, and this bullish candle connect this fair value gap, and we are now coming back to retest this fair value gap. So I knew that in the retest of the fair value gap, the graph is going to what, to push up to this upside. Why does it not respect the bearish fair value gap? Because you can see that there's a wick here, right? And also there's a wick here, which means this is a downward fair value gap. We do not anticipate for the downward fair value gap because we are in an uptrend. As I always tell you, my strategy what depends with the trend, right? So if you look in the 15 minutes, right, I have my daily bias. 4 hour it is showing that up. 1 hour it is showing that up. 30 minutes it was showing that it is down, but the moving averages were about to be flat. So let me just put on my moving averages and I'll show you what I mean when I say 4 hour it is up and 1 hour it is up. Let me take my moving averages, right? So in the 4 hour, right, you can see the red moving average, right, which is the slower moving average. It is below the green moving average, which is what, the faster moving average. If the faster moving average is above the slower moving average, it indicates a bullish momentum, a more bullish momentum, right? So in the 4 hour, it was a bullish momentum. In the 1 hour, it was also what, a bullish momentum, because the red one is below and the green one is above. And we go again in the 30 minutes. In the 30 minutes, it had crossed. If we look by that time, I was analyzing the charts. In the 30 minute, it had crossed. And it was now showing what, a downward trend, because the red moving average was now above the what, the green moving average. But right now it is now crossing back to what, to correct its direction. So I knew that this was going to happen because in the 30 minutes you see that the AMAs are close together, they are about to be flat together. So I knew that the 30 minutes was going to correct, right, and follow what is happening in the what, in the 4 hour and 1 hour. So that's why I put my prediction now in the 15 minutes when the graph was here before the meeting started at around 3. I knew that it was going to come down. When it comes to retest, we're supposed to be buying, right, on GBP USD. But all is well. If it comes back to retest here, if it comes back to this zone, we can still enter, right? We can still enter. All is still well. We can still enter when it comes back to this zone. So let me just delete this moving average because it makes the chart dead. You just predict your moving average, then you put your emojis to show you the direction overall. Right. And now we move on to our next pair, which is GBP JPY. Is there any question? You can ask questions. You can ask questions. So on GBP JPY, right? Using the same moving averages. By the way, the exponential moving averages I use period 50 and period 21. I do not use above that because our entries are usually in the 15 minutes and 5 minutes. If I start using like 200, I'm not a day trade, an intraday trader or a swing trader. It does not apply to me. By the time the 200 corrects itself, all the 5 minute moves would have already gone, like you have been already been left out, right? But if you use the smaller period moving averages, right, you execute with the line of the time frame you are using. Let's say I'm using the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes. If I execute using the 10 period moving average, 14, 21, and 50, I'm executing with what, the moving average, which moves with a velocity of the time frame I'm using. But if I start to execute with a 100 moving average or with a 200 moving average, whilst I open my trades in the 15 minutes or 5 minutes, it means that I'm going to what? I'm going to start. It means that I'm just simply what? I'm just simply using the momentum or the volume of bigger time frames, which I'm not even trading in. So in GBP JPY, right, we were looking for downtrend. I had no a specific area which I wanted to enter, but I knew that in GBP JPY there was a downtrend because all the EMAs, right, they were signaling a downtrend, whether it was in 4 hour, in 1 hour, or in 30 minutes. For GBP JPY now, when it came to this area, if we look at this area from here up to here, there's a fair value gap again. Let me open in the 1 hour and in the 4 hours, right? In 1 hour, right, we have a very large fair value gap from this week to this week. It is a bullish fair value gap, right? But in the same time frame, in the 1 hour, we have a bearish fair value gap from this week to this week, right? And this bearish engulfing candle, they create a fair value gap. When we go back now in the 15 minutes, we can see that the fair value gap was being what retested so that the graph would go down, right? So I did not have a specific point of entry, but as for now, because our trend is in the downtrend, we know that our graph is most likely to what? Is most likely to go down, right? It's most likely to respect the bearish fair value gap rather than the bullish fair value gap. So this is how I mark my support levels, right? These green zones, they are just psychological levels. They are lines drawn after every 50 pips in every pair, right? And for gold, I draw them after every 100 pips. Why? Because gold is very volatile. It moves big moves at once. So if you draw it after every 50 pips, yeah, it might be relevant, but most of the times it is not respected. Right. So these green lines, these green squares, or these green rectangles, right? These green rectangles, they represent support, and these orange rectangles, they represent what? Resistance. I use them for my market structure. Market structure is just the marking of a higher high and higher low, or a lower high and a lower low. So here we have a lower low, right? And then we have a higher low, right? Because it broke the structure here. It broke the structure. We have a what? A lower low, a higher low, right? So when it breaks the structure, we anticipate that it is going to keep on making what? Higher lows, higher lows. This is why I did not want to enter this trade. One, we have a strong bullish fair value gap. And then secondly, we have a break of market structure here, right? Instead of continuing to make lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows going down, it is now what? It is now coming to create what? Higher highs and higher lows. So the green squares, the green rectangles, I only draw them on the support levels, right? Whether it's a higher low or a lower low, it will be green. Then the orange rectangles, they are representing a resistance, right? Or they are representing supply, which means I draw them on every higher high, or on a what? Lower high. Whether it's a lower high or a higher high, as long as it is a resistance, I put a orange square. And as long as it is a support, I put a green square. So moving on to the next chart we were analyzing, it is USD JPY. USD JPY, I anticipated that we should sell here. But since we were late, right, we were forced to sell on the psychological level. We sold on the psychological level, right? Why was I anticipating a sell? On this area, there's a 1 hour fair value gap, right? It is also a what? A support and resistance. If you see, there is sort of a head and shoulders pattern here. We all know our reversal patterns, right? We all know our reversal patterns. Head and shoulders, it means when we're going up, we are now going what? We are now going down. So after seeing our head and shoulders pattern, we now know that we are going to go what? In a downtrend. What more would you like, right? After the head and shoulders patterns, this is the neckline, right? Where there will be our support of our left shoulder and right shoulder. It is called the neckline. After the neckline was formed, the graph came back to retest the neckline. What other confluence, right? What more evidence would you like rather than this clear evidence that the graph is now changing its direction? So we are saying we saw a head and shoulders pattern whilst we are in a downtrend. Like in the long run, we are in a downtrend. I don't need to go in the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minutes to show you what the moving averages are doing because I've already marked it, right? Even if we go, you can see it clearly that the moving average shall be showing us what? A downward trend. Let me just do it for transparency's sake. But in our 4 hour, we can see the red is above the green. It's a downtrend. In our 1 hour, red is above the green, or the slower moving average is above the what? The faster moving average. That's a downtrend. In the 30 minutes also, red above green. That's a downtrend, right? So when we now come back to the 15 minutes, I just put this because I don't want my chart to look so messy because I already mark it with a lot of things. Like, for example, I use uh, these squares for resistance and these squares for support, right? So if I put my moving averages, the chart will be now noisy. I use a lot of things, but personally, I don't even like a noisy chart, right? But it's just how my strategy works. It has to work with those things, right? So I remove them so that my chart can be less noisy, but so that I remember, because I'll be trading 4 pairs, so that I remember that what was happening in the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minutes. I'll just take my text like this, take my text and start writing. You can even write with words, right? 4 hour EMA showing what? Bearish direction. Then you write 1 hour EMA showing what? Bearish direction. And then 30 minutes EMA showing what? Bearish direction. You can write using text or you can use emojis. I use emojis so that you see it is neat and it is also fast when you're now typing and you want to analyze 2 more pairs, because I usually analyze 3 or 4 pairs. So it is just representing what I saw in my on my EMAs. I saw a downtrend 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minutes. Now what is happening? I have my areas of interest. My area of interest can be a psychological level, an area of resistance or support, a common demand and supply zone in the 4 hour time frame, right? Or it can also be a what? A fair value gap. When I finish the course, right? This will be now easy to understand because I'm going to explain all the technicals and all the market structure, everything I'm talking about here. It will be in the course, and it is also in my strategy which I'm posting on YouTube, right? It has 9 episodes. So far I've only posted one because I'm in the middle of exams, so I don't have a lot of time to do this stuff. But as soon as exams finish, I'm going to finish the whole strategy so that you get used to the strategy. When you are now getting in the course, right, you do not have confusion of what is happening, right? So on my strategy, remember I told you on the video which is on YouTube that my strategy depends on what? Five things when you are executing it. We have trend, which is determined by market structure trend lines or EMAs. Right now, I used EMAs and market structure. We can see that it is making what? Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. I told you my orange one it's for highs and my green one is for lows. It's consistently making what? Lower highs. Here I do not mark it because there's already a psychological level. So there's no need to mark the lower high, right? S- Just the same as this low. I did not mark it because it's already a psychological level. It's already marked. We know that that level it has price manipulation because it is a psychological level, right? So we have lower highs consistently, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, which means market structure is a downtrend. My EMAs were also downtrend. I do not even need to draw the trend line here because everything is showing me what? That is a downtrend. After that, I use what? My area of interest. I told you it is trend, area of interest, additional confluence, and then what? Entry signal. The fifth one is exit because exit is as important as entry, right? The way you exit is the way which would determine the P and L you have at the end of the day, the P and L you have at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So after this, right, I look for my area of interest. What is my area of interest? Let's go back in the 1 hour. I told you that there was a fair value gap in the 1 hour, but you did not see it. I did not show you. Let me take you in the 1 hour and zoom in the chart right here. Can you see this fair value gap? Let me remove this guy here. We can see that from this week of this candle to this week of this candle and a bearish engulfing candle, it creates a fair value gap here. All right. So I just marked it there. And as soon as I marked it, I also saw that it was also a what? A lower high, right? And then after marking it, it was also a neckline, a break and retest because the neckline was acting as what? As support here. And then it was broken. And then it is now acting as a resistance here. So it's a break and resistance. It's a break and retest, right? It is a support and resistance level, although it is only in the 15 minutes. But you can say that at this area, right, just this line, if I take my, let me draw a straight line just from here. I don't want to go very far in history because we use recent histories. Just from here, and I'll just draw a straight line right here. You can see how many times it was touched. We have one, two, three, 4, 5, 6. This is now the seventh time, right? I wanted to enter just right there, but because we were late to start our session, we now had to enter what? On the psychological level, right? So, and when we are taking live sessions, you should take my trades, guys. The trades that I will be showing on the live sessions, you should take them, right? So, we can see that it had 7 touch points, just this area, which shows how influential, right? It is very influential, this area, right? So it is a very valid area of uh, area of interest. Optimum trading zone can be even a psychological level with 1 touch point, but look at how influential this optimum trading zone is. It has 7 touch points at once. So after trend, I now have my optimum trading zone. And what is my additional confluence? I already told you guys, we have a head and shoulders pattern here. Head and shoulders pattern determines a what? Determines a downtrend. And we also have a break and retest here. So it is what? An additional confluence, right? And then my entry signal. What entry signal do I get in with? In the 15 minutes, we can see if someone had to get in the 15 minutes, right? Let me just delete these things. So if someone had to get in the 15 minutes, we can see our what? Our pin bar. I told you I use Doge candles, pin bars, engulfing candles, morning and evening stars, and also tweezer candles as my entry signal. Entry signal, I only use candlestick anatomy. I do not use anything else. I only use candlestick anatomy for entry signal. So after seeing my doji candle, this is a gravestone doji candle, right? When it is bullish, we call it dragonfly. When it is bearish, we call it gravestone, right? You see all the terminology in my course, right? So we saw our what? Our gravestone doji candle. We do not even need the Fibonacci or the measuring tool, this one, to measure that this candle is 38%. This body of the candle is 38% more than the whole candle. It is obvious. We can see it here. It is simply obvious that this is a doji candle. So after the doji candle, I have my entry signal. I'm now entering. What do I want for my exit signal? I'm targeting this low. I do not want more than that because in the markets, especially if you are a day trader who only trades maybe two trades or three trades per day, they don't even hold overnight, right? You just want to carve a piece, you just want to carve out a piece out of the markets. Just carving out a small piece and you'll be done, right? So I only want to target this high, this low, right? I only want to target this low. If it gives opportunity, I know it can give opportunity because it is a downtrend. It is fine, but it's fine by me because I already have my what? 1 to 3 risk to reward. So on our last pair, which we'll be looking at before this meeting ends, we are going to be looking at what? At USD card, right? USD card is the last pair I was looking at. Today I did not look at gold. That was a mistake. I didn't even analyze it, right? So on USD card, what was I seeing before our meeting started, right? It was right here at 3 p.m. It was coming down. I predicted that it would come down, go up to this psychological level. This is not good. It should be a line. Yeah. Go up to this psychological level, and it also should be 1 pixel. What happened here? So I predicted that it would come down, go up to the psychological level, come down and retest this line. So what I wanted is to get in on the psychological level or to get in on this area. This was supposed to be a small scalp because, as I told you, I do not like to target lower than the previous low uh, that has already been created. Or maybe let's say if we were to go bullish here, I do not like to target above the high that was predicted because that would take much longer, more than my trades I usually take, which usually take from what? 18 minutes. From which usually take from 45 minutes. My trade duration usually take from 45 minutes to 2 hours. Right. If it is if the markets are not moving very fast that day, it may take 4 to 6 hours, but usually I only take one, two, at maximum three trades per day. And for that to happen, your trade should usually take less than what? Less than 3 hours. So I only want to target here because I know that here there's a high probability that the market will reach. Targeting more than that, it's fine if you know that the what market is in a downtrend. As you can see, our 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minutes, they are all in a downtrend. It is keeping on creating lower highs, lower highs, lower high. I told you I do not mark a lower high when there's what? A psychological level because they will be now coinciding. You just put it in mind, right? That this is a psychological level, but it is also a what? A lower high. It kept on creating lower highs, and then there was consolidation here. So I just wanted for it after reacting at this level. I just wanted it to what? to come down to this level, a short scalp, and get maybe my 15 pips with a, or maybe my 20 pips with a stop loss of 7 pips. That is fine by me. So these are the predictions, right? We are having right now. And these are the trades you should be entering. Because right now I'm seeing that USD card, it is an opportunity right now. It is an opportunity. We can even enter right now because it's going back to our area of interest, right? We can even enter right now. Right now, let me just show you guys what I'm up at, right? On the trade which we took on this session. The trade which we took on this session was USD JPY, right? Yeah, as you can see, I'm up about $400 and my take profit is 1,500. My stop loss is 500. So we are about to be what? A one-to-one risk to reward. So guys, this is the end of today's session, guys. Right? We meet again next time. We'll just be showing, right? I'll just be updating you on our trades which we took on this live session, right? That they are now at this area. You can now take your break even. You can now take your what? You can now adjust your stop loss and stuff, right? So, are there any questions, guys? We have 5 minutes left. Are there any questions?
No questions so far.
No questions, right? So, you are the only one who participated, my guy. I don't know what happened to the other guys. I think it's because I changed the time twice, right? But let me just update these guys on our trade for USD JPY, right? Let me just update them so that people don't play. People don't play when we say they should attend. So this is it, bro. If
Yeah.
you have more questions, you can ask me directly on inbox. You can see that I even talk to people like personally in my inbox, right? You just ask your questions there.
Okay, it's fine.
And then let me just send them with the screenshot also. It's flying. It's flying. It's it's dropping, it's pumping. You can
Yeah.
you can even just if you just even blink, you might just even see your take profit loss is already hit. So this is it. Let me see if the update reached. Yeah, same account. This is the same account, guys. So just see where this trade goes, and I'll just be updating you in the what? In the WhatsApp community and in the Telegram community. So until next time.